Okay, so we are continuing to work with the terrain editor. And what I'd like to point out next is that you can work with the region editor in the terrain. The first thing I would like to do with this one is to start creating the landscape we're going to use for the game that we're going to learn coding with and then building. So let's start with the fill option here. So it's the last option, but I'll show you how powerful this is for creating your own maps. So I'm zooming out here so I can get a better look at the map. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill, but the first thing I need to do is I need to do the selector, remember? Okay, so I'd like to get a nice large box here that's going to take up a good portion of the map. And what I'd like to do is I have it selected, so I've got that box, remember? And now this is, again, very powerful. We're going to press fill, and I'm going to be able to select what material I'd like to fill this with. And so let's start with grass for this map. So I'm going to start with grass. And then once I select grass, then I just click on fill. And then you'll see now that entire box was filled with grass. Now let's say I'd like to copy this entire area and then paste it on another part of the map. Again, you have to select the portion of the map that you are trying to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and I've got that block selected. Let's go to the bottom here. I've got the bottom block selected. And then I can, again, scroll up. So once I go up here. All right. And so, okay, so once I have the entire part selected that I like, what I can do, so I've got it selected again. And now what I can do is I can click on copy. And so now it copied that portion. And what I'd like to do is then I'm going to click on paste. And so now it pasted one, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it pasted it on top of the other one. So I'm going to go ahead and move, and now it's going to move one of them away. So you can see I'm moving this one, but I still have another one there. So this is the easiest way to learn, to learn how to use these region editors. So you notice I was able to fill, and then now I can use the move, arrows for moving it where I would like to move it. Okay, now let's say I want this to be a different material. I've got it selected still. I've got it on move. Let's go back to select. And again, it's still selected blue. And I'm going to press fill. And then this one, let's fill with a brick. And then once I have fill, I'm going to press fill. And then now I've got brick. You know what? Instead of brick, let's do concrete. So I'm going to click on concrete. I'm going to fill. And again, you can change this anytime you want. So now I've got concrete, big block. And then I've got a grass side. So I've got concrete on one side, block. Now again, you can use any of these materials when you're doing this. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in this area here with water. So let's go ahead, and again, I'm going to go and try to select block right here near the bottom. And now I can scale this. And again, I'm on the selector with the select again. And remember, just use each of these arrows. It takes a little while getting used to. Again, you can zoom in to make sure that it's more what you want, but you can see now I'm just lifting up to where I want it. And let's go a little below the other surfaces so that the water sits a little below those two. And I'm going to come over here to the other side. Make sure I'm up. Good. I'm all the way over to the other side. And then let's go to the edge of the map, which is right there. And then once I have that selected, then again, I'm going to go over to fill. And then this time I'm going to do water. And then I'm going to press fill. And then now we've got a nice bit of water here. Good. So now we have a place with a concrete side, a grass side, and this is going to come in handy later whenever we start developing different levels for the game. A few other things with the region editor, with the terrain editor, is that you can select and move certain parts. So let's say I wanted to have this selected here, and I wanted to take this and move it. What I can do is select it, and then I can press on move, and it will take that portion I selected and will move just that part. So you can see I was able to lift it out, and this is a nice way for carving out different areas. I can delete this part, of course, if I press delete, or I can move this to a different part of the map. Maybe I'd like to move it over here, maybe make a bridge with it, and then I can, of course, then resize it if I'd like to, and then I can do this to make a bridge. And so there's all kinds of things you can do with the region editor. So I'm resizing it, rotating it. Again, this is very similar to what it's going to be like with parts, where we're resizing and editing parts. So you can see I'm able to resize and then rotate this. So we went over how to copy and paste, and then delete. You could just press delete, and then that will delete the part also. I'm going to undo so I can get back to that nice part here where it was all one clean concrete block. And so those are all the different functions you can use in the region. Next up, we'll be we're talking about the edit function. So your action item for today is to go ahead and create what you see here. So create 3 different terrains using the terrain editor with the region, and then being able to select things, fill them with the different materials. If you can, go do your best to fill with these kinds of materials, and then that way we can have a similar looking game as we continue throughout the course. So I thank you, and I'll see you in the next lesson.